Hey, welcome to the Spectrum. I'm forced to do this, so I'm going to give you guys a tour. This is where some advertising magic happens. I don't know much about it. I'm a writer myself. This is the creative sector of the building. Vkesh works his magic here. Here's some of his comrades doing their thing. I like to wear my shades in the office. It's very bright in here. This is the this is the copy room. It's dark right now, but also in here is what do you call it? The Annals of Spectrum Glory. It houses all of our past issues in these lovely bound books. It smells like leather-bound books and rich mahogany in this room, which is nice. Unless the copier's running, then it smells a little more like a normal office. We'll go around the corner here. This is my favorite room because this is where the real emotion comes out, and where this is the brainstorming conference room. Spectrum Madness is written over there on that piece of cardboard, and that really sums it up for me. You got these nice chairs. We come in here, we do our budget where Aaron and the other senior editors of the paper decide what will go in and what will get cut.
So we need a maximum of 3 stories per desk. Maybe 1, maybe 2, because it's the photo issue.
Yeah. Everything on news is really... The Holocaust walk happened yesterday, and Corey did that. We have a lot of good photos for that. We can photo that one out.
Cool.
And then Jewish holidays is important, and the fruit belt just finally exists.
We're gonna hold fruit belt. We already held it so long. Looter, we're gonna hold him. Newsproof too. Water we don't need. We'll try to do Lozano Holocaust and Jewish holidays.
But most importantly, we have our editorial debates in here where we talk about controversial issues and say what's on our minds.
Like he was calling kids like faggot and gay like that, but that was like a private Christian school, so I understood that. But I mean, this happens at every single school, every single sport. Like, I realize it might not be acceptable, but it's also, I think people aren't realizing how commonplace all this is. Like, this probably happens at 40% of the schools across the country.
Do we think, alright Dylan, this is an important question, do we think that because it's commonplace, it really, like Rice was handled too extremely by the staff, or do we think that that needs to become less commonplace?
I don't know, because like, I feel like there's a change in ethos in the sports right now, especially because like when you think about even the NFL, you have gay players just kept thinking about coming out, so it's kind of like, I feel like that sort of like over masculine stance is like sort of changing. So that's why it's not as acceptable now.
We need to make all these practices and all these sports private and not public to the people. Because as a society, like, people are so sensitive about this shit now, but like, as a player, if I was on that team, like, aside from like the 1 or 2 cases when he was pushing, like, I wouldn't have thought that I was abused. Like, if I messed up and the coach was like, come on, you fucking fag or whatever, I'd have been like,
Well, I'm getting
alright, I fucked up. Like,
now we're going to really the center, the epicenter of this universe, of our solar system. This is the sun. This is the what's it called? The press room? I don't freaking know. This is where everybody writes, works, chills, hangs out, does their thing. Right here is the news sector. Sarah and Lisa are the senior editors. They'll be moving up the ranks next semester. Sam and Rachel will be taking over for them. They're seated on that couch. That's Rachel's sister.
News for freelancers.
Yeah. So news, they do hard-hitting UB stuff.
I'm the Spectrum senior news editor, so I'm in charge of assigning stories to our news writers, writing news stories. I edit all the news pieces that come through, and I delegate and make sure that, the backbone.
Okay, my name is Lisa Corey. I'm the incoming managing editor at the Spectrum. I just finished my last semester as senior news editor.
I'm Sam Fernando, and I'm an assistant news editor at the Spectrum. Going to be a senior news editor next semester.
Lisa and I pretty much got brought up through the ranks of the paper at the same time. I think I was technically an assistant editor like a week longer than she was. It really wasn't anything different. We both really showed an interest and a passion for this around the same time, so it's been great to have someone to come up with, and like we've been, we're always learning the same kinds of things at the same times, but we learn a lot from each other. We just get along really well. We work really well together. We balance each other out in what we do, and I'm really fortunate that I have someone who's so understanding, and I think we both understand how the other works, and we're able to like really work together well, which I don't know if everyone put into our position like that would be able to do.
I like that you can make a difference in this world. You can bring attention to issues. You can promote change. There's so much going on, and there's not always someone watching what people are doing. Journalists are considered the watchdogs.
A newspaper's job is to hold people accountable, but we do that in a way where we're collecting information and we're presenting it in a fair way where a reader has the tools then from our article to make their own decision and form their own opinions. So we keep our opinion out because, that isn't fair. It isn't fair for us to put our opinion in there, interject what we think. It's what we know. A newspaper is based on facts. So we're doing a service to the public so that they can understand what's going on and they can make their own opinions.
The way that I see journalism is it's an opportunity for us to tell someone else's story. Whether that's, in news you really don't get to tell as many stories as you want, but you're telling people what's going on. And I guess a lot of people, especially at this university, don't really understand that. The objectivity in journalism, a lot of people don't understand that we're just telling people's story. Whatever people tell us is what we're putting out there. Our opinions aren't in it. I guess that is what journalism is. I think anything it's impossible to get rid of all the bias and anything. Bias, I don't know what the word is. It's going to be impossible to get any kind of to be completely objective when it comes to any kind of media. But and I think with anything you read, you got to be cautious what you read. I don't want to say don't believe what you're reading, but for me personally, I look to very, very many different news outlets to get my news. I don't just focus on one, I guess for that reason.
We're a newspaper. We're a newspaper like the Buffalo News is a newspaper, or the New York Times is a newspaper. We do, journalism doesn't change, even noticing it's at a collegiate scale. We're still looking for stories. We're looking to hold people accountable. We're looking to share things that people don't know about or highlight things that should be of concern to students. But at the same time, we are a college newspaper, so obviously we like to have fun too. And I think we do a really good job of balancing the goofy columns and the fun articles with the serious news stuff. I think that's a great thing about a college newspaper is you can really get a taste of everything.
I think the Spectrum is one of the greatest programs, I guess you could call it, at UB, and I hope UB can mimic, or I hope there can be more programs like that at UB, because UB is such a huge school. I came to school here, like I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my degree, and I didn't really know anyone either. You come here and you're with tens of thousands of students, and it's easy to get lost. But if you join the Spectrum, you make friends, and also like the hands-on experience you get, you can't even compare it to what you learn in a classroom. I feel more prepared to be a journalist. If someone would have told me, would you want to go to the Spectrum and learn as much as you did, or go to Harvard and just sit in a classroom and learn about journalism, I would pick the Spectrum 10 times.
Stuff. Over here is the life desk where I had my birth as a journalist under Aaron's guidance. Nothing special over here. Life sucks. What can I say? It's just how it goes.
Oh wait, I'm in first.
This is the photo area. They have the most computers, I think. Come on, who was jealous? This is my domain, the arts sector. We have the best posters and the best quotes. We have the worst equipment for some reason. Never heard of these brands of computer. They don't really work, but it's alright. I like to sit in the corner here, think about life and Jen, do my thing. Our biggest bros are the sports desk, that's why we sit next to each other.
I'm Joe Conzi Jr.
senior sports editor for the Spectrum this spring. It's not your typical 9-to-5 job. Yeah, you're at a desk from 9 to 5 editing articles, but when you get a phone call saying, Coach Witherspoon's fired, you have to drop what you're doing and try to get as many sources for a story as you can. So, and that's the beauty of it. You're not stuck doing one thing every single day. You're stuck doing something different every day. It's unexpected. They say that tomorrow's never promised. Well, I kind of use that mentality with journalism where tomorrow's never promised in the sense of tomorrow's never going to be the same. It's going to be something different. So that's the beauty of journalism. We're trying to tell a story, and in order for us to tell a story that's not biased, we have to get the right sources. So sometimes the story may come out looking one-sided, but it's not anything that we did wrong. It's that the sources on one side didn't want to talk about an issue. But going back on what you said about the negativity that's in the media, people don't understand journalism. They don't understand what we're trying to do. We're not trying to bash people. We're just trying to uncover things that people don't know. We want to inform the audiences and the key publics. People like to say, public relations and journalists don't get along. No, it's just they don't understand each other. And it sickens me to know that PR sometimes shows some negativity towards journalists when all we're trying to do is tell the story. And they don't truly understand how much work goes into what we do. As far as audiences go, they don't know what we do. They only see a 500-word story or a page-and-a-half story in a paper, but they don't truly know the effort and the enthusiasm that we put into our work every day.
They have some pretty good posters too. A little generic, but definitely the most. We're talking quality over there and quantity over here. You'll notice that it's extremely bland on that side of the room. We don't ever really cross that line, honestly. News and life are whack, and arts and sports is what everyone really cares about. Here is some of our front covers from the year. There were some really good ones this year. You'll see that anyone familiar with the Spectrum over the years will notice that the covers have really gotten a lot better this year, especially this semester. B. Kesh, we already looked at his creative wing, but he really does a lot of work in there and makes our paper look amazing. And then we got the big comfy couches here. We got all kinds of gaming systems, old school. We got an intense Mario Kart session going on right now. I'm not sure who Mario is, but obviously dominating. People chill here all day long when they get their work done. Right now we have an intense, what's the basketball game called? Showtime bracket. It's down to the championship game. I lost in the first round. And yeah, that's all I really got. Oh, we should go right over here. Sorry, I almost forgot. Aaron's back there. He's the editor-in-chief. He's the big boss dog. Looking fresh with his chest tattoo today.
That sounded like it rhymed. Looking fresh.
This is where the managing editors work. So the editorial editor sits here after we have our meetings. He cranks out usually 2 editorial pieces about what the paper's opinion is on different topics. And then the 2 managing editors chill here. We've got the printer. People also use this room if they need it in place to do a phone interview and stuff. It's pretty flexible with what you can do. I'm trying to think. Do we want to take another look at Aaron's office?
We can do that.
Okay, yeah, he's talking to
Okay, no, but I was just saying, what would you?
This is where we'll end our tour. This is Aaron Mansfield, our fearless leader. In his office, all kinds of things happen. Serious decisions, funny laughs.
My name is Aaron Mansfield, and I'm the editor-in-chief of the Spectrum. I've wanted to be in sports journalism since I watched ESPN when I was really young, and it's my passion. And I believe that to tell other people's stories, you have to have a genuine interest in other people. And I am genuinely interested in other people. I think people are fascinating, and I think it's a great right to be able to tell the world about them. I think no matter what you're writing about, journalism is all the same, in the sense that you have to gauge what people need to know about something. Whether you're covering a baseball game that's totally irrelevant, or you're covering the biggest town hall meeting in Buffalo history, you have to gauge what do the people who are going to read this story need to know about what happened? So if I'm working on a feature and I'm interviewing someone trying to get a grasp of their life, I have to ask myself as I'm interviewing them, what's the most interesting part of this person? What do people want to know about? I think people read stories and they watch stories on the news for selfish reasons because we want to come out of something knowing more than we did before. So you have to gauge, how can I teach my reader? How can I make my reader connect to this story and really involve the reader in the whole process? Otherwise, it's just about you. And I honestly think if you're reading an article, you can tell within the first 4 or 5 paragraphs if the author is genuinely interested in the topic. So whether I'm writing about a sports game or a feature or some breaking news happening outside, I'm genuinely engaged in it because I really make myself care about the topic, and I think that's what you have to do if you want to be a storyteller. One thing I always tell people who are interested in writing for the paper is that writing for a newspaper will change your perception of the world. And when you get to meet these incredible people who are really going above themselves to do something greater when you're reporting on them, it changes the way you view your own life. You're not going to worry about the parking spot that you just missed out on or your untied shoe. Small things aren't going to bother you as much because you have this bigger world view. So even if you don't want to be a writer, I encourage you to give the Spectrum a shot or try out for your local newspaper, wherever you are, because writing for a paper, reporting on other people who are doing things bigger than themselves will change the way you see the world.
We got the Vince Carter autograph photograph. The other day we watched Vince Carter's Top 100 Dunks. It's the greatest YouTube video of all time. We also meet in here once a week for our desk meetings where we talk about the week that's gone by and what we'd like to see the next week ahead. Jody comes in here, it gets intense, but that's all. That's all I've got to say. Turn that thing off.
Great tour, man. Great tour.